There is, for the ones that council are looking at taking on, I would just sort of remind people, particularly the new ones, manage your workload. So, particularly in the first year or two, because there's lots to learn and so on. And so you want to do it all in the beginning. And so I just sort of remind people not to necessarily look to do it all. And then the last comment I would make is I did send out an email earlier today based on people's input with respect to Kitchener Power, the fact that we typically goes by a variety of factors, including seniority. And so I send out a suggestion based on the input of people, and I would ask if someone is inclined to either move that at the appropriate time or something else, that we'll consider that at that time. So with that, and I think that the last thing we need to do before we sort of open it up at all is there are a handful of people that came after the deadline, and that was applications A1 to A5, and we just need a motion to accept those and consider them as part of the normal application process, if we're so inclined. And generally, we've done that in the past as well. Okay, so moved by Councillor Galloway-Seelock. Is there a seconder? You can second it? Yeah. You're real here now. Thank you, Councillor-elect Johnson. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. So everyone is in the mix. So with that, I will move to the, yes, Councillor Gazzola.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions at the beginning here. There are 2 points that I would like to bring up, and I've talked to the clerk and the clerk. The first one deals with the ability to appoint a former member of council who may not have had a chance to go through the normal nominating process. Am I allowed to do that or not? I have checked with that particular member of council, and they're prepared to sit on whatever committee that would be possible. They've sent me an email to that effect.
So I guess what I would have said is that councillor should have applied and would have been considered after the fact with the late applicants, and we could have accepted them, but I don't think we have anything in our possession yet.
I asked her the legality of what I was putting forward.
Yep.
I'm not, and in fairness, any of us around the table, had we not been reelected, it's not likely that we would have put in applications to sit on committees unless we knew Doug Ford was taking over. So your ruling is what?
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, and I'll turn to the clerk if she wants to give me other advice, but I think, the councillor in question, I'm not sure which of the three you're talking about, I think should have applied through the process after the election, and they would have been considered in that grouping of of late candidates, and we would have ratified it as we just did. I don't know, have we received anything formally since then from?
No, you haven't. No.
Okay. Madam Clerk?
This is the formal request here.
Go ahead, Madam Clerk. Oh, I think I turned you off. Sorry.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. For the Dog Designation Committee, there is no real citizen who's...
Is that the one you're talking about?
No, that's my number 2. I haven't
Oh,
come
sorry,
to that.
my apologies.
I was
I suspect
asking
you're
what-
talking about Councillor Yanetsky.
Pardon?
You're talking about Councillor Yanetsky?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, my apologies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've heard the dialogue that's gone on, and I was asking as to the legality of, I know what the process is, I
Right.
know what the rules are, I know, I guess somewhat, I don't know whether you can call it tradition or not, but I just wondered, is it legal for us to do something out of order?
Through you, Mr. Chair, we've never really, council can always consider late applicants, but the person would actually have to make an application in order to be considered for a citizen advisory committee. That is how we've always conducted it and made sure that people have actually submitted an application.
And so I guess what I would say is, in the absence of that today, I don't think it would be appropriate for us to consider it. But as I said earlier, there will be a number of areas where we weren't able to fulfill the spots, and certainly, Councillor Yanetsky would be able to apply if he's so inclined. Your second issue.
Yeah, my second issue, and I think it deals with Councillor Fernandez, and I think she has talked to a number of councillors about her willingness to stay on the Dog Appeal Committee as an ex officio. Normally, I guess it's made up of a couple of members of council and an outside expert on the, and she has been quite interested in it and has offered to sit on it, not being a member of council, but and to have a newbie, I'll call him a new person on it, and she would assist that new person in the role. And considering that dog appeal is not a committee that people are clamoring to get on, I felt it was a very good offer on her part, and I would like to bring it forward. Is it possible to allow her to do so?
So I guess I would just comment in two regards, and I indicated this to Councillor Fernandez when she spoke with me about it. As you know from the packages that we have, Councillor Fernandez also applied for other committees and was considered by the Citizens Committee, the nominating committee rather, and recommended for one of those committees. And so I think, first of all, we typically don't appoint someone to more than one committee, and so my concern would be to do that. If she was choosing dogs over the property standard one, I guess that would be a different story. But my understanding, she was looking at doing that in addition to that. I think the second one would be, it would really require a decision of council from a policy point of view, is because that's a committee that sort of has a statutory role in terms of considering dog designations. It was set up with the intent that it has certain people on it, and if we're now going to move away from having councillors on it, then I think we need to look at it from a policy perspective before we make that decision. And so, my recommendation but obviously it's council's will, but my recommendation would be that we go with the recommendations of the nominating committee and we leave this dog designation appeal committee to members of council. Did you want to?
I should try and see if council, I'd like to put the question before council.
Okay, is there a second?
Is that possible to do that or not?
Yeah, if you're moving that, is there a seconder? So there's a seconder? Okay. So it has been moved and seconded. So your motion is that we replace a council member with a citizen member?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I'd like, so everybody learns how to do a recorded vote. We'll
have to stand because the system...
Oh, it's not working?
The system's still set up for the the old council, which still meets tonight.
Okay, well, I'd still like a recorded vote.
Okay,
please.
that's fine. So all those in favor? All those opposed? And the motion does not carry. So we'll deal with that one as a council committee. Okay. So with that, we will now go into the appointments process, and we'll start with the Chair of Community Services. Councillor Davey.
I move Councillor Galloway-Seelock.
Okay. Madam Clerk, we usually don't need seconders, right, for the, no. Any other nominations? Councillor Gazzola.
I move Councillor Marsh.
Okay. Councillor Marsh.
Yeah, I decline. I respectfully.
I'll come to the opportunities to decline in a second. Any other nominations? Councillor Gazzola.
I'll nominate myself, so we
Okay.
don't have any acclamations here.
That's fine.
We got the afternoon to spend.
Any other nominations? Okay. If not, then we'll start with you. Councillor Gazzola, you want to have your name stand? Okay. Councillor Marsh? No. Councillor Galloway-Seelock? Okay. So I would ask people to vote for one of two. So either Councillor Gazzola or Councillor Galloway-Seelock. You only get to vote for one. One person, one vote. And a reminder, these are for one-year appointments for committee chair and vice chair. Yes.
Chapman votes for Galloway-Seelock. Michaud votes for Galloway-Seelock. Verbanovic votes for Galloway-Seelock. Johnston votes for Galloway-Seelock. Gazzola votes for Gazzola. Marsh votes for Galloway-Seelock. Schneider votes for Galloway-Seelock. Davey votes for Galloway-Seelock. Galloway-Seelock votes for Galloway-Seelock. And Singh votes for Galloway-Seelock.
Okay, so it's Councillor Galloway-Seelock. We'll now go into vice chair. Nominations for vice chair. Councillor Galloway-Seelock.
I'll move Councillor Schneider.
Okay. Councillor Gazzola.
I'll move Councillor Marsh. Well, you're there now.
Other nominations?
You have to get your 40 years in.
He did not indicate that on his list. So, and I will say that in my meeting with him, he did indicate he didn't care if he was chair or vice chair. So, with that, Councillor Marsh, do you want your name to stand? No. Sorry? Decline? Okay. Councillor Schneider, do you want your name to stand? Yes. Okay, so then it's Councillor Schneider as the vice chair. Moving on then to Finance and Corporate Services nominations. Councillor Singh.
I'll nominate Councillor Davey.
Okay. Additional nominations? Councillor Gazzola. Okay. Additional nominations? Okay. Councillor Gazzola, do you want your name to stand? Yes. Okay. Councillor David, do you want your name to stand? Okay.
Gazzola votes for Gazzola. Marsh votes for Davy. Schneider votes for Davy. Michaud votes for Davy. Johnston votes for Davy. Verbanovic votes for Davy. Galloway-Seelock votes for Davy. Davy votes for Davy. Chapman votes for Gazzola. Singh votes for Davy.
Okay, so Councillor Davy is the new Chair of Finance. Vice Chair nominations, please. Councillor Gazzola.
Yeah, I nominate Councillor Chapman.
Okay. Councillor Davy.
I nominate Councillor Singh.
Okay. Additional nominations? Okay, Councillor Singh, do you allow your name to stand? Yes, okay. Councillor Chapman. Sorry? Yes, okay.
Pardon? Oh, no, I would.
Singh votes for Singh. Chapman votes for Chapman. Verbanovic votes for Singh. Michaud votes for Chapman. Johnston votes for Singh. Schneider votes for Singh. Marsh votes for Singh. Gazzola votes for Chapman. Galloway-Seelock votes for Singh. Davy votes for Singh.
Okay, Councillor Singh, you are the Vice Chair of Finance. And I heard a question being whispered here, can everyone else still sit on committee? All three, no, it's okay. All three committees, just for clarity, we sit as committee of the whole, so all members of council sit on all three standing committees. No problem. Planning and strategic initiatives, motions. Councillor Singh.
Yeah, I'll nominate Councillor Marsh.
Okay. Any other nominations? Okay. Councillor Marsh, do you allow your name to stand? Okay, then Councillor Marsh, you look to be the... So, Councillor Chapman? Okay. Okay. Councillor Gazzola, do you allow your name to stand?
What is this, for chair?
This is Chair of Planning and Strategic Initiatives. Okay.
Chapman votes for Gazzola. Galloway-Seelock votes for Marsh. Verbanovic votes for Marsh. Michaud votes for Marsh. Johnston votes for Gazzola. Gazzola votes for Gazzola. Schneider votes for Marsh. Marsh votes for Marsh. Davy votes for Marsh. Singh votes for Marsh.
Okay, Councillor Marsh will be the new chair. Vice Chair of Planning and Strategic Initiatives. Councillor Gazzola.
I nominate Councillor Chapman.
Okay. Other nominations? Councillor Schneider.
I nominate Councillor Gazzola.
Other nominations? Councillor Singh.
I nominate Councillor Johnston.
Other nominations? Okay, there aren't any others. So, Councillor Johnson, do you allow your name to stand? No, thank you. Okay, Councillor Gazzola? No. Okay, Councillor Chapman? Then we go around a second time. Problem is he didn't. Yeah. Sorry, let me turn you on. Go ahead, click in. There you are. Go ahead.
Can somebody just briefly remind us what this committee does?
So the Planning and Strategic Initiatives Committee is responsible for major planning applications. So OPs, zone changes, official plan amendments, zone changes, the strategic plan of the city. Mr. Chapman, anything else come to mind? Okay. So then it would be Councillor Chapman. Okay, moving on. Aeronautical Noise Management Committee. Just bear with me 1 second. Here we go. Okay, so I'll take the council nominees, and we need first, and we need one nominee and an alternate. Councillor Galloway-Seelock.
I nominate Councillor Schneider.
Okay. Is there anybody else? Councillor Johnson.
I second that.
Okay, you don't need to second it, but thank you. Councillor Schneider, are you willing to be on the committee? Okay. Councillor Gazzola, since this impacts your ward second most, are you willing to continue being the alternate?
Yes. Very good. So I don't have to alternate very often.
Okay. Okay, so we will go then with Councillor Schneider and Councillor Gazzola as the alternate. Councillor Marsh?
Just a question of housekeeping. Like, if, since this is in Ward 2, shouldn't it just be default the Ward 2 councillor going forward? It was that way before, wasn't it?
It wasn't. It's actually a regional committee, and so it's a Kitchener councillor that it stipulates, and it allows for an alternate.
Okay, I just wanted to put it out there that going forward, I think it makes almost sense to have our Ward 2 representative on that committee, but...
As long as they're willing to be on it, I would agree. Okay, then we move to the citizen nominees. And I'm just trying to figure out your lists, Christine. So there's 3 people that are being suggested. Jim Adams, Gregory Yon, and Edward Saxon, is that correct?
That is correct, Mr. Mayor. The terms of reference for this particular committee do ask for 3 representatives from the City of Kitchener.
And we just didn't have them last time?
We just didn't have enough folks the last time.
Okay. Councillor Marsh.
So I move to accept the nominating committee's recommendation.
Okay. Any additional nominations? If not, then we'll accept those three. Jim Adams, Gregory Yon, and Edward Saxon. We'll now go on to the Animal Designation Appeal Committee, and we need 2 councillors and an alternate. Open the floor to nominations, and don't everyone jump in at once. We're not moving on until we finish these 3. Councillor Schneider.
I nominate Councillor Johnson.
Okay. Additional nominations. Councillor Johnson.
I nominate Councillor Michaud.
Okay. Councillor Marsh. Oh. Okay. Needing an alternate? Well, potentially we need an alternate. Do we have an alternate? Councillor Singh?
Councillor Gazzola?
Okay. Well, I'll come back to you in a second. Any additional nominees? Councillor Davey? I'll nominate you as an... Any additional nominees? Councillor Davey, you willing to let your name stand? Councillor Gazzola? He declined.
I'm actually going to decline to give somebody else a chance.
Councillor Michaud? Okay. Councillor Johnson?
Yes, I'll stand.
Okay, so we have 2. Who's willing to be an alternate? We need 1. Councillor Schneider, thank you. Okay. Moving on to Arts and Culture Advisory Committee. We historically have had 1 member of council on it, but we do have a little bit of leeway on the advisory committees in terms of number of members of council that are on them. I just want to remind council that on the advisory committees, our role is really there to be a resource to those committee members to participate in discussion, but not lead discussion, because the whole purpose of those advisory committees is for council to get advice and for them to be able to have meaningful dialogue and for us to be a liaison between the committee and council. And that applies to all the advisory committees. Councillor Galloway-Seelock.
Yeah, I nominate Councillor Schneider.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? If not, Councillor Schneider, do you allow your name to stand? Absolutely. Okay. So Councillor Schneider is the council rep. And then if we go to the members of the committee, the recommendation from the nominating committees are before you and include Meredith Blunt, Paige Downey, Aaron Francis, Angela Grass, Sean Johnson, Samantha Yoon, Shirley Medill, Matthew Morales, Lori Thompson, Lydia Workman, and Linda Zensner. Somebody care to move those? Moved by Councillor Johnson. Any further nominations? If not, we'll take those as being nominated. Thank you. Madam Clerk, did that fill all the spots, or is this one of the committees that we're going to need to go out again for?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, that fills all the spots on ACAC.
Okay, thank you. We'll now go to Committee of Adjustment. And there are 5 nominees for the Committee of Adjustment from the nominating committee: Denny Cybulski, Scott Hanna, Michael Kidd, Bob McCall, and Jennifer Meter. Councillor Galloway Seelock.
Those?
Okay, moved. Any additional names? If not, then we will declare those 5 as the successful candidates on Committee of Adjustment. Committee of Revision. Now, this is a very grueling committee. Sorry? Hold on. Thank you for reminding me of that. Yes, sorry. We needed, on the Committee of Adjustment, we needed to do the extension because they're over 8 years, so I need a motion in that regard as well. Councillor Galloway Seelock. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Okay. So now we'll get to Committee of Revision. It is a very grueling committee. I don't know if it's even, has it met once? Once, okay. It does not meet very often. And so I will take nominations for that committee. I'm sure there'll be lots of names. Councillor Davey. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just move the same 3 that are there, but also ask, just in terms of saving some time going forward, if we can't make the term for this 4 years instead of 1. I don't think it's too big of a commitment to make over a 4-year term.
How about we go with 2, because we're trying to do that consistently with the council appointments. Okay. Any other nominees? Anyone yearning to? So I will ask, Councillor Gazzola, are you willing to stay on this committee? Councillor Singh? Yes. Councillor Schneider? Sure. I want to thank the 3 of you for your profound sacrifices on behalf of the community. This is in fact a 2-year sacrifice that you've agreed to. So thank you. We will now go to Compass Kitchener. And we have some of the committee members that have been nominated, but this is one where we have not had a full slate of nominations. And we have in front of us Eurasia Duhane, Lynn Gazzola, Adam Hammond, Omar Samand, Judith Stevens-Wells, and Lori Trumper. Somebody want to move those? Councillor Marsh?
I move the recommended members, but I also want to move that we add somebody who indicated interest in this committee and has not been selected yet. And that's Lori Fiozzi. She's ID number 114. She applied to the KPL as her first choice, but Compass Kitchener was a secondary choice.
And she's not being recommended for anything else?
Not as yet, no.
Okay. Councillor Johnson.
I wanted to second that nomination.
Okay. Yeah, we don't need seconders at
Sorry.
committee. No, it's okay. No worries. So for a nominating committee, we generally don't need seconders. At committee meetings, we don't need seconders, but at council meetings, we do. Okay. So with that, Lori has been added, and the balance of the list has been recommended. Any further discussion? I'll just take a quick vote on that one. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Okay. We'll now move to the Cycling and Trails Advisory Committee, and I'll start with the council position. Councillor Marsh.
I'd like to put my name forward for that committee.
Okay. Any other nominations? No? Okay, if not, then Councillor Marsh, congratulations. We'll now consider the citizen committees members, and the names brought forward are Daniel Brotherston, Bart Forwell, Nevra Gersoy, Victoria Hand, Edmund Hanna, Daniel Hashowski, Rhonda Park, Greg Piccini, Chantel Powell, Matthew Rodriguez, Emily Slofstra, Walter Waganka, and Michael Clark. Somebody want to move that group of names? Councillor Chapman?
No, I just have a question. Based on my experience in the Safe and Healthy, there were certain community people that were on that committee by default, like positions, not people in particular. Do we have representatives from Cyclewalla Region and TriTag on this committee by default? It's a question.
Do we?
Yeah. Like, are there designated spots for representatives from those two committees?
We don't have people by default on this committee. It's something that the committee could consider as part of their review of their terms of reference. But I would say anecdotally, both Cycle WR and TriTag appear to be represented based on the group of names that's before us. Okay. So the list has been moved by Councillor Chapman. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Dog Designation Appeal Committee. It kind of ranks there with the Animal Designation Appeal Committee. In fact, probably more of our animal designation ones are really dog designation ones. Sorry? Yeah, it's the same. Okay. So we don't need to do it again? Oh, okay. Congratulations to everyone who's been duly appointed. We'll now move on to the Downtown Action Advisory Committee, and that committee has the Ward 9 and 10 councillors on it, so that would be Councillor Chapman and Councillor Marsh. And then the Executive Director of the BIA, as well as a number of committee appointees. And the ones that have been brought forward in the different categories by the nominating committee are Aaron Atchison, Rathika Bina Kumar, I'm guessing, because it's cut off, Rick Booth, Sandra Castle, Brian Gracham, Jeffrey Gwynn, David Harms, Jeanette McCod, Tori Miknofsky, Cassandra O'Brien, Tricia Smith, Scott Thompson, Martin Timmerman, and William Turman, rather. And does that leave us a little bit short still on that committee? I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it's a minimum of 9 and a maximum of 21. So I guess technically we're okay, but perhaps the two ward councillors can have a look at this, and if you think that we need to add some additional people, we can re-advertise when we advertise for some of the other vacancies that we still have. So perhaps Councillors Marsh and Chapman can talk about that, maybe after your first meeting or something. So does somebody care to move the list of recommended names? Moved by Councillor Johnson. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? That too is carried. We'll now move on to the Economic Development Committee. And again, I'm not sure why this one is showing as 4 years. Because most of our advisory committees are 2, so let's just assume it's 2 as well. No? Sorry? The terms of reference are 4? Okay, seems a little... We can still, council can still change it to 2. I think that would be my suggestion. So, nothing preventing us from reappointing people afterwards. So let's start with the members of council. We currently have 3 members of council on it. And I'll start, we have a few people that want to do nominations. Councillor Davey.
Sorry, just clarification first. Do we need to vote on changing the term to 4 years, 2 years now, or? Because if
Yeah, I guess we should probably have a vote on that. So do you want to move that?
I would move that.
You're moving that for all of them? Like all of the council?
Just want to be sure on the other ones that affects.
So that would be economic development, that would be Center in the Square, Belmont BIA, Kitchener BIA. The BIAs never were 4 years before, so I don't know where that came from. Kitchener Housing. Kitchener Public Library has to be 4, because that's statutory by the Library Act. But we can, if somebody can change midterm on that one on their own by stepping down. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll move all those.
Okay. So it's been moved by Councillor Davey for 2 years for all those. All those, is Councillor Marsh? Oh, okay, all in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Now, did you also, you wanted to move someone, Councillor Davey? Okay. Yeah. Councillor Marsh, yep.
So my understanding was that we have to go back to re-advertise, and so we aren't able to nominate residents today. Isn't that the case? Because the nominating committee didn't put anybody down.
That is correct, except for, Madam Clerk, did we not, I thought I saw something that said some of the positions were in fact filled, did I not?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, because this particular committee was at 4 years, we were only trying to fill some sector-specific areas, as noted in my report, Core 18-014. So we were looking for those sector-specifics to fill those vacancies only at this time. And because the nominating committee felt that we did not have candidates that met those sectors, in my report, we are recommending that we go back out and do some enhanced recruitment to fill those specific sectors.
So that's for everything then, except the council positions?
That is correct. This is for the citizen appointments to EDAC.
Okay. So that's one we'll need to advertise sooner rather than later.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Councillor Marsh, does that answer your question? Councillor Michaud. Sorry, I'm having to think for a second because the old names are popping up on my screen and I'm having to...
I make a motion for Marg Johnson.
Okay. Councillor Gazzola.
Yeah, I nominate Councillor-elect Michaud.
Okay. Okay, any other nominations? Councillor Johnson.
I nominate Councillor Chapman.
Okay. Any other nominations? Okay, so we've got 6 nominees. Councillor Chapman. Do you allow your name to stand? You can just...
Yes, I'll leave it. I'll let it stand.
Okay. Councillor Michaud.
No, thank you.
Okay. Councillor Johnson.
Yes.
Councillor Ioannidis had indicated yes. Councillor Singh.
No. I can't.
Councillor Schneider.
Yes.
Okay. So we have 4 people. We could go to 3. I guess we do have the option of playing around with numbers of councillors as long as we stay below. I think it's a little heavy to go to 4 personally. So
It is a big committee, though, if I can say. I know there's some vacancies right now, but if they are filled, it's actually quite large committee. So if there is one extra member of council, it's not going to seem like it's overweighted by council members. So.
Okay, so what's committee's desire on this one? Councillor Galloway-Seelock.
Personally, I think 3 is already too many, but I know that committee already has 3, and I think if we start going 4, what's not to stop us at 5 and 6? I think
6, there's other rules.
I know, but I'm just making a point that I think we need to stay 3 max, and I'd even be in favor of 2. But I think it's important for it to be a citizens advisory committee as opposed to weighted heavily or weighted more so with council.
Okay, so Councillor Marsh.
One option could be we have 3 plus an alternate, and then when somebody from the 3 who were nominated can't make it, can call in the alternate to join.
Does that create any challenges for clerks? Okay. Is anyone in that group interested in voluntarily being an alternate? Councillor Singh?
I mean, if I could say something, like the conversation on the committee is ongoing. So someone just filling in may not know at what point they're engaging in that discussion. But I mean, it's fine if you just want to add a name, but I mean, it's a committee that does require ongoing attendance, and that's all.
Okay, so unless I hear anything to the contrary, I'm going to just go with 3 and ask people to vote for 3 of the 4. Okay, so vote for 3, please. So your choices are Schneider, Ioannidis, Johnson, and Chapman. Oh, you forgot.
Chapman votes for Chapman, Johnston, Schneider. Verbanovic votes for Ioannidis, Johnston, Schneider. Gazzola votes for Schneider, Johnston, Chapman. Michaud votes for Johnston, Chapman, Schneider. Marsh votes for Ioannidis, Schneider, Johnston. Schneider votes for Ioannidis, Johnston, Schneider. Johnston votes for Johnston, Chapman, Schneider. Singh.
Sorry, can you give me that last one again?
Yep, you ready? Johnston votes for Johnston, Chapman, Schneider.
Okay, thank you.
Singh votes for Ioannidis, Johnston, Schneider. Galloway-Seelock votes for Ioannidis, Schneider, Johnston. And Davey votes for Schneider, Ioannidis, Johnston.
Okay, so if my counts are right, that would be Johnson, Schneider, and Ioannidis? Correct? Okay. And then we'll advertise the economic development for the rest of the committee. We'll now go to Environment Committee. And we'll deal with members of council first. Councillor Gazzola.
Yeah, I'll nominate Councillor-elect Michaud.
Councillor who?
Michaud?
Oh, Christine Michaud, okay.
Did I
thank you.
pronounce that improperly?
Yeah. No, I just didn't hear. Sorry.
Well, you don't do the D. Oh, I did wrong. Sorry. I apologize.
Additional nominations. Councillor Chapman.
I'll nominate Galloway Sealock.
Additional nominations. Councillor Michaud.
I'll nominate Councillor Schneider.
Okay. Additional nominations. Okay. I will go through nominations first, and then we can talk about the number of members of council that are on it. Councillor Schneider, did you want your name to stand?
All respectfully declined.
Okay. Councillor Galloway Sealock. Okay. Councillor Michaud.
I'll respectfully decline.
Okay. So that would be Councillor Galloway Sealock then. Moving on to Heritage Kitchener. Oh, sorry, thank you. Environmental Committee. We have a number of members who've been nominated by the nominating committee, including Tina Belanger, Tova Davidson, Tia Driver, Kim Fellows, Cynthia Gaetani, Justin Godon, Allison Gingrich, something, John Jackson, Aaron Kelly, Robert Paul, and Eleanor Westlander. Councillor Galloway Sealock.
I'd like to move them plus Darren Bailey, number 72. I know he says my name a lot in his application, but he's really passionate about the environment, and I think we need to focus his passion into the environmental committee.
Let's just see. So that would get us to 12, which looks like it was the same as we started with last time, even though it said 10 to 11, so we can accept that. Any other nominations? So you moved the list plus Darren. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Okay, moving on to Heritage Kitchener. And we need at least one member of council. We had 3 this past term. Councillor Johnson.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Michaud.
Okay. Councillor Schneider.
I nominate Councillor Gazzola.
Okay. Further nominations? I'd like to nominate Councillor Chapman. Bill did not indicate this as one he wanted to sit on again. Any other nominations? Councillor Chapman. You'll stand. Councillor Gazzola? Stand. Councillor Michaud?
Yes.
Okay. We had 3, so unless anybody's opposed, we can have 3 again. Okay, so the 3 of you. And then we have, I guess, looks like some of our community ones. This is another one we're going to have to advertise some more for. The ones that we do have on here to consider today are Peter Sakura, Sam Hossack, Kim Huckstead, Russ Parnell, Ashley Reed, and Steve Strohack. Any further nominations? Councillor Marsh?
Well, Steve Strohak sat on the Heritage Committee last time, but reading his application, it looks like he just resubmitted this same one from 4 years ago. And I'm just wondering if, I would like to know his attendance record to help us understand whether or not he is somebody we should nominate again. Sorry, I didn't think of it till today to ask for that, but so I don't want to put staff on the spot, but there are going to be, if we're going to be re-advertising, I'd like people who are passionate and wanting to sit on it regularly, just making sure.
Madam Clerk?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I don't have the numbers, but I'm advised by our committee administrator that Mr. Strohak is a high attender for the meetings.
Okay, that's all. Thanks.
Okay. So, someone care to move that list? Moved by Councillor Gazzola. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Heritage, Oakton Heritage, Property Standards Committee. There are 4 members that have been recommended by the nominating committee. And I should have probably said this in the beginning, just in case, particularly for the new members, if you didn't pick up on it. A number of years ago, we moved away from, like we used to go through these one by one and council would nominate individuals. And in an effort to, for the most part, depoliticize the process, and we moved to a nominating committee model that's made up of the Kitchener-Waterloo Community Foundation, President or CEO, the KW Multicultural Centre CEO, the United Way CEO, Capacity Canada CEO, and the Greater KW Chamber of Commerce President CEO. And they serve as the nominating committee. I think in a couple of instances they may have delegated the role to another senior person in their organization, but that's who serves as the nominating committee. Property Standards Committee. The 4 nominees are Councillor Boutilier, Councillor Fernandez, Terry Boutilier, Yvonne Fernandez, Amir Sohail, and Santos Santos. Councillor Davey.
I would move an alternate list. I'd just like to confirm with staff, though, first that ID number 66, Charlene Molman, has not been appointed to any committee. Is that correct?
Sorry?
ID 66, Charlene Molman.
So you're moving her as a 5th person?
No, I'm moving Terry Boutilier, Amir Sohail, and Santos Santos, and Charlene Molman.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? So at this point, that would require someone to, if someone wanted to move the missing name, they would have to move it. She was not moved. You a mover, Councillor Gazzola? Okay. That's fine. So we now have 5 people, and we need 4. Okay. Any additional nominations? If not, then I would ask people to vote for 4 of the for 4 names, please. So the names were Terry Boutilier, Charlene Bowman, Yvonne Fernandez, Amir Sohail, and Santos Santos. The recommendation of the nominating committee was Terry Boutilier, Yvonne Fernandez, Amir Sohail, and Santos Santos.
Yeah.
Just hang on 1 second.
Michaud?
No, hang on. Okay, and don't go too fast, please.
I'll try.
Alphabetical if you can, yeah. No? Oh.
Okay, 1 second. Just because I need to get her name in one spot, please. Well, 'cause some people have voted by first name and some people have voted by last name. So it's cause, okay. Michaud votes for Charlene, Terry, Santos, and Amer. Chapman votes for Fernandez, Boudelier, Sohel, Santos. Verbanovic votes for Boudelier, Fernandez, Sohel, Santos. One more time. Verbanovic is Boudelier, Fernandez, Sohel, Santos. Sorry.
Let's just hang on till he's done.
Sorry.
Let's just pause the process until.
Yeah.
Are you looking for the names?
Okay. You ready?
Yep.
All right. Schneider votes for Boudelier, Sohel, Santos, and Charlene Momen.
Okay.
Johnston votes for Terry, Charlene, Amir, and Santos. Okay. Marsh votes for Boudelier, Fernandez, Sohel, and Santos. Gazzola votes for Boudelier, Fernandez, Sohel, Santos. Galloway Seelock votes for Mohmen, Boudelier.
Sorry, the first one was.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to say her last name very well.
Okay,
Charlene.
Bowman, yep, that's fine.
Charlene works very well for me, sorry.
So Bowman,
Yeah, so Charlene, Boudelier, Sohel, Santos.
okay.
Okay. Davy votes for Boudelier, Sohel, Santos, and Mohmen. Okay, last one. Singh votes for Boudelier, Sohel, Santos, and Mohammed.
Okay, so the successful people are Boudelier, Bowman, Sohail, and Santos. Okay. Moving forward. The next one is the Safe and Healthy Community. Oh, hold on. Yes, Safe and Healthy Community Advisory Committee, and we'll start with members of council.
Just a point of information.
Yes, go ahead, Councillor Marsh.
So just to clarify, even just I think a few weeks ago, the day of the week was changed from the first Thursday at 4 p.m. to be, the meeting will now start to take place the first Wednesday of the month at 4 p.m. instead.
The clerk's not agreeing?
It's not working. Through you, Mr. Mayor, we were chatting with Mr. Hildebrand today, and there have been some, I think that the staff are struggling to figure out exactly when they want to have the meeting, but I think they're looking at the possibility of the first Thursday of the month. What we advised Mr. Hildebrand is that we had advertised the committee for the fourth Wednesday, excuse me, the second Thursday of the month. So what we are recommending is that council keep in mind that they want to move it to the first Thursday of the month. Sorry, Mr. Deputy, can you confirm for me? Sorry, there's been a bit of back and forth on this one, and I myself is starting to get a little confused about where staff ultimately landed on this particular one. Sorry, Mr. Mayor and members of council. Currently, it is the first Thursday of the month. Staff would like to move it to the second Thursday of the month. However, when we advertised for this committee, citizens were applying thinking that the meeting was going to be the first Thursday of the month. So our recommendation to staff is that council keep in mind that there's a possibility that staff would like to move it to the second Thursday of the month, but we've recommended that they speak to whomever is appointed to this committee to see if a second Thursday of the month can be accommodated.
So I think the long and the short of it is whoever's taking it from a council perspective needs to be somewhat flexible, and it'll be a decision of the committee as to when the meetings are. So with that, I will take nominees. Councillor Schneider.
Yes, I'd like to nominate Councillors Michaud and Johnson.
Any further nominations? Okay, there were 3. That takes us down to 2. So congratulations, Councillor Michaud and Johnson. Oh, sorry. Okay, do you guys want to be on? You're right. Thank you. Councillor Johnson, are you interested in being safe and healthy?
I am interested in being safe and healthy.
Okay. And Councillor Michaud?
I am too.
Okay, so there we go. It's your committee. We'll now go to the citizen reps, and the nominees recommended are Greg Albert, Elizabeth Clark, Julie Legg, Alicia Monteith, Colin Mullally, Wasai Rahimi, Amy Venner, Beth Wilson, and Darwin Whitmer. Somebody care to move those? Moved by Councillor Michaud. Any additional names? No? All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Okay. We'll now go to the Belmont Improvement Area Board of Directors, and that by statute is the ward councillor, so that would be Councillor Johnson now. And then the board, where are we going? Oh, okay. Do we have anything on the rest of that board? No? So they just continue operating and Bob's your uncle? Or Jane's your aunt? Okay. Perfect. So, Councillor Johnson, you're fine with being there? Okay, great. Center in the Square Board of Directors. And so that was one where I was suggesting that we might want to leave it until we get the citizens ones and do it all at once. People comfortable with that? Okay. So we'll come back to that one next month. Downtown BIA. By statute, it's the mayor and the Ward 9 and 10 councillors, and then a variety of reps, and they appoint their own board. So that is, that's really just there for information, right? Yes? Good. Kitchener Housing Board of Directors. Councillor Singh.
Put forward Councillor Ioannidis.
Okay. And just, so I guess my concern is they're dealing with some stuff right now. No. Well, but they're not going to have a board come November 30th right now. No, that's a problem. I guess is what I'm saying. Can I suggest that we maybe extend the existing board to the end of January, which will give us and them an opportunity to figure out the board situation, and then we can deal with the council and those situations at that time? Councillor Davey.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. My only question is, does that include Councillor Etherington?
It would not, because he's there by virtue of being a councillor.
Okay, just wanted clarification on that.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
Everyone okay with that? So motion to deal with it till the end of January? So all those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Kitchener Power Corp. Councillor Singh.
Yeah, I'd like to nominate Councillor Galloway Seelock.
Okay, are we going to do all 4 years of nominations today, as was suggested? I'd be inclined to try to get this one resolved.
I'm not going to decide for the group. I'm just putting forward my suggestion.
Yeah, sorry, I'm actually not prepared to do all 4 years today. I don't have the foresight. But I would also like to move Councillor, move Councillor Ioannidis. I'll move Councillor Ioannidis then, please.
Sorry, and who are you moving? Okay. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Mayor, just pointing out that these appointments would be effective June the 1st. Councillor Marsh and Councillor Schneider are appointed until the end of May, so you do have the ability to wait to do appointments for this if you so wish.
Do you want to deal with that in the January batch? We'll have all of council here. I guess that's my point. let's deal with it in the January batch then. Okay? Am I hearing any opposition? Councillor Chapman? Go ahead.
Yeah, can you just explain why you were thinking of putting it through for the next 4 years? Like, what's the advantage of doing that?
Well,
is the idea that people take turns rather than, is that?
Right, is the rotation,
Right.
I mean, there was a suggested rotation that suggested it can be switched around if people want to, but that's really it. The history of this one has been, it, for the most part, has been appointed based on seniority, and it's done for one-year terms, so everybody gets a shot at it. Councillor Galloway-Seelock.
I just want to make sure that that's the history of the last 8 years. That's not the history prior to that. It was 3 members of council that rotated every year. One would you'd sit off for a year and then you'd be on for 2 years. And it was based on seniority at that point. And so it's very different from what it used to be. And now everyone's trying to be fair amongst everybody. And I just want to make that point because it's already changed significantly. I know that I was, in my first term, there was no way in heck that I would end up on that committee because of the way that the history was with that committee. So I just want to make that clear.
Yep. But as you pointed out, it's been different the last 8 years. So, anyway, we're going to deal with this one in January then. So, moving on, Kitchener Public Library. Oh, okay. No, the suggestion was to leave it until January because we'll have everybody here. The citizen ones can be done at the same time because none of these take effect until June with hydro. Unless somebody wants to deal with it right away, I'll take a motion. Okay. Who wants to deal with it now? Okay, majority want to deal with it now, so I'll take nominations then. So Councillor Galloway-Seelock and Ioannidis were nominated so far. Councillor Galloway-Seelock. Okay, any further nominations? Councillor Gazzola.
Yes, I'm going to nominate myself.
Okay. Any further nominations? Councillor Gazzola, are you interested in having your name stand?
Yes, I am.
Councillor Ioannidis said yes. Councillor Galloway-Seelock. Okay. Just 2. I'm sure we would love to have all 10 on there, or 11. Councillor Michaud, you had your mic on.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
Mistake. Sorry.
Okay.
Johnston votes for Galloway-Seelock and Ioannidis. Marsh votes for Galloway-Seelock and Gazzola. Michaud votes for Galloway-Seelock and Gazzola. Singh votes for Galloway-Seelock and Ioannidis. Chapman votes for Gazzola and Galloway-Seelock. Davey votes for Galloway-Seelock and Ioannidis. Galloway Seelock votes for Galloway Seelock and Ionitis. Verbanovic votes for Galloway Seelock. My apologies. Sorry, printing. Verbanovic votes for Gazzola and Ionitis. Gazzola votes for Gazzola and Ionitis. Snyder votes for Ionitis and Galloway Seelock.
Okay. So that would be Councillor Galloway Seelock and Councillor Ionitis. So somebody want to move the citizen ones then at the same time? Moved by Councillor Davey. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Kitchener Public Library. Deal with the councillor ones first. Councillor Galloway Seelock.
Councillor Marsh.
Okay, Councillor Marsh.
And I nominate Councillor Galloway Seelock.
Okay. Any further nominations? Okay, if not, it's the two of you. And then you'll see there's a letter here with a number of nominees, mix-up of current board members, new board recommendation, and 2 alternates. And there's a KPL nominating committee that considers these. If any of the 9 become vacant, then I guess you go to alternate 1 and alternate 2. Is that how it works? And these appointments, as per the Library Act, are for 4 years unless somebody resigns. So, somebody want to move this list? Moved by Councillor Galloway Seelock. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Okay, the Art Gallery. Nominations. Councillor Marsh.
I nominate Councillor Michaud.
Any further nominations? Going once, going twice. Okay, Councillor Michaud, are you willing to be on that board?
No, I'm respectfully decline.
I love how respectful everyone is. Okay, any further nominations? Councillor Schneider.
I nominate Councillor Marsh.
Any further nominations? Councillor Marsh. Okay, Councillor Marsh it is. GRAC, the Grand River Accessibility Advisory Committee. Nominations, please. Councillor Schneider.
I nominate Councillor Chapman.
And I know you had an interest in the past. Councillor Galloway Seelock, are you interested? You can't. Oh, with the kid schedule? Okay, that's fine. Councillor Chapman. Sorry, first of all, any further nominations? If not, Councillor Chapman, are you interested in being on it? Oh, because it's when you teach. Okay. Any? Okay, we can. Sure. Somebody willing to fill in for the first 4 months? Thursdays are usually a good regional day. Thursdays are usually a good regional day. I'll commit Grandpa. Okay. Nobody else want to be the alternate for GRAC? So, Kelly, you'll be the alternate for the first few months, and then we'll switch to Councillor Chapman. Yeah. And continuity isn't as important as a warm body at that one. They do get snacks, that is true. Grand River Hospital. Now that was, so Councillor Galloway-Seelock, you indicated you don't really, that one doesn't work for you, so you're not interested in being on it. Councillor Schneider.
I nominate Councillor Michaud.
Okay. So just so everyone knows, that one has a monthly board meeting and also has, typically they want you on one committee, which is a monthly committee meeting, usually at 7 or 8 in the morning. So, I'm not trying to scare you, I just want people to know that.
Are you asking me now?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
No.
You're respectfully declining? Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so they're looking at changing where their year-end starts and so on. So we could have an appointee for 6 months, 12 months, or 18 months right now, if we have anybody at all. Any takers? If not, let's leave that one for now, and we may need to revisit it. Okay, and we'll revisit it in January, February. I will say that I think the board, St. Mary's has changed their structure, so they no longer have elected officials on it. And so I don't know, at some point, it's possible that there may not be takers at the region either. And so the board's going to have to come to terms with that. So we'll leave that one for now. Homer Watson House Foundation. Is there a mover? Councillor Schneider.
Okay, I'll nominate Councillor Michaud for this in her ward.
Okay. Councillor Singh. Okay. Any further nominations? Councillor Michaud.
I'll accept this. Thank you.
Okay. Horticultural Society. Anybody? Movers? Councillor Johnson.
I'll nominate Councillor Gazzola.
Okay. Any other nominations? No? Councillor Gazzola, you interested in being on this one? Okay. Further nominations? It's your ward. Councillor Chapman. Can we come back? Okay, we'll come back to this one. Huron Natural Area. Councillor Schneider.
I'll nominate Councillor Galloway-Seelock.
Okay. Councillor Singh.
Nominate myself.
Okay. Ranks up there with the Court of Revision. Okay. Councillor Michaud.
Councillor Schneider?
Other nominations? Okay, Councillor Schneider.
All respectfully declined, so.
Councillor Singh. Councillor Galloway-Seelock. Perfect. Done. Thank you. Kitchener in Bloom Committee. Councillor Michaud.
Councillor Schneider?
Okay. Councillor Davey.
I'll move Councillor Singh.
Any other nominations? Not Councillor Singh. Do you allow your name to stand? He's already nominated.
Oh, sorry, I was reading something else.
Councillor Schneider, do you allow your nomination to stand?
I will.
So it's Schneider and Singh. Multicultural Center Board of Directors, council nomination. Councillor Marsh.
I nominate Councillor Chapman.
Any other nominations? Councillor Chapman, do you allow your name to stand? Okay. Councillor Chapman it is. KW Oktoberfest. Councillor Singh.
Councillor Schneider?
Okay. Councillor Schneider.
Councillor Michaud.
Other nominations?
Yeah, did he say?
It wasn't in his list that he sent me. So, any other nominations? If not, oh, Councillor Galloway-Seelock.
I'll nominate myself.
Okay. Councillor Galloway-Seelock. Do you allow your name to stand? Councillor Michaud.
Yes.
Councillor Schneider.
Yes.
Okay.
Question? Is there a
Yes.
reason why we can't have 3 people on there, or?
It's there, so, yeah, so we can ask, but at this point it's 2. Sorry?
Davey votes for Schneider and Galloway-Seelock. Marsh votes for Schneider and Galloway-Seelock. Verbanovic votes for Michaud, Galloway-Seelock. Johnston votes for Michaud and Schneider. Gazzola votes for Schneider, Galloway-Seelock. Schneider votes for Galloway-Seelock and Michaud.
Sorry, who was that last one?
Schneider votes for Galloway-Seelock and Michaud.
Okay, and who was the one before that?
Gazzola votes for Schneider and Galloway-Seelock.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Michaud votes for Schneider and Michaud. Chapman votes for Michaud and Schneider. Galloway-Seelock votes for Schneider, Galloway-Seelock. Singh votes for Galloway-Seelock and Schneider.
So that would be Galloway-Seelock and Schneider. Okay.
Are we going to pursue if we can?
I will talk to the new president and see what we can do on that front. Sorry? I have to come back to Horticultural Society. Trying to find it, there we go. Nominees for Horticultural Society. One we're going to need to come back to in January.
I'll take it.
You'll take it?
For 1 year? Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Christine. And the last thing is, last time we had a specific counselor who was interested in FCM or AMO committees. We don't have a specific one this time, and so I think I would just say that we deal with, that we give permission to members of council who want to be on either AMO or FCM committees to do so. Moved by Councillor Singh. Marsh, all those in favor? Opposed, that's carried. I think is that everything, Madam Clerk? Didn't we do housing?
I don't think so.
No, we left housing, right?
I don't remember leaving housing.
We left housing for January.
Oh,
Because they're looking at their whole board
Sorry.
structure and stuff. Grand River Hospital, nobody took. You'll take it? Okay. Deb, do you want to take it for 6 months, 12 months, or 18 months? Okay, so we'll do it for the year. You're looking. Oh, so it's not 6, 12, or 18, it's 6 or 18. Okay. Sounds good, and we'll revisit it next year. Yes. Okay, thank you. So that is the list, Madam Clerk. Do I need a confirming bylaw? All the... Oh, right, because it's a committee. Okay.
Are we coming back to horticultural in January?
I took it.
Oh, you took it.
One
Yes.
for the team, just so everyone knows.
Okay. Everyone clear? So with that, motion to adjourn. Councillor Schneider, all those in